would be a fool to join the army and be all that you can never be. But one thing that you will be is dead. When you look in the paper and you see the ages of the youngsters that are dying in Iraq, 21, 19, 22, 25, 27, 28, and you see them recruiters coming in the black community, offering you college, offering you a $7,000 bonus if you sign up. All of this is their trick. Get you in and use your life to defend their policies. But when we were captured, the Japanese would look at us and say, same, same. Same, same. In other words, why are you fighting for your enemy? That's a good question. Why would you join the army of your enemy? If you're in it, get out of it. Because soon you'll be in a fight that you won't live from. He has a way of putting the poor on the front lines, the black, the Hispanic, the brown. You that claim your new right of citizenship in America, he'll make you do the fight. And the truth shall set you free. So now, if the truth makes me threatening, and being courageous enough to tell it makes me threatening, what makes a black man non-threatening? Then if he's non-threatening, he don't belong to you. If he's non-threatening, he's their man, not your man. He looks like you, but he works for them. And that's a hell of a condition to be in. To have a man that you putting your hope in because he comes from your people. But he's not working for his people. There is not an Italian here, not a Greek here, not a Polish person, a Jewish person, an Irish person here who would vote for an Irish, an Italian, or a Jew to go anywhere if they didn't represent Jewish or Italian or Irish interests. You know that to be the fact. Why should we then settle for non-threatening politicians who rule and guide for others and do not stand for us when we are the majority who have elected them? Crossover politicians, they call them. You know what a crossover politician is? A crossover politician is like a crossover singer of songs. You know how it is. We start in the ghetto where we always start. And we start in those honky-tonk joints where we always start. No.
Hello brothers and sisters. How are you doing? I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching this video from. As you know, I'm your host and presenter HTech Stories. I want to talk about something that Trump warned America for so many years ago. I want to talk about something that Minister Louis Farrakhan has been warning Americans for so many years. Because Minister Louis Farrakhan is more of a futurist, and he saw everything coming into place right now. Everything that we're observing. Remember, Louis Farrakhan talked about them like 20 years ago. And it's crazy that people never thought that this will come to happen. Well, take this as a prophetic message. It is a shocking prophetic message that we are right now seeing, and it's happening. Louis Farrakhan warned Americans, warned black people, do not allow Mr. Donald Trump to use your kids as soldiers in the military when he's going to do all of its imperial overreach to other countries, causing harm to other countries. And looking at what happened in Iraq, because so many black people lost their lives, so many American families lost their lives because black people gave their children to go and fight for America, but for which cause and at what cost? So while we were seeing that, Minister Louis Farrakhan was trying to warn people that a day like this will come to happen, because everything that we are seeing right now happening just happened. And how did it happen? It happened because Louis Farrakhan saw that this was going to happen, and majority of this was including Venezuela, including everything, and how Mr. Donald Trump is making life hard for American citizens and for black people. He said them long time ago, and he even saw to it that when Donald Trump will get into seat, he will make life hard for black people. He will make life hard for America. The prices of everything will plummet. Will skyrocket. So when we are seeing all these things happen, this is a prophetic message. And this is what somebody said 20 years ago. And right now we are seeing them happening. So brothers and sisters, I want us to watch this video, and then I'll be back. I'll be sharing my 2 cents in regards to what Minister Louis Farrakhan has shared. And you'll stay blessed. And if you're watching me for the first time, I'm just asking you to please subscribe to the channel, join the membership, and really get to what I can offer you. But until then, let's watch the video. I'll be back with my thoughts and commentaries in regards to this.
Nobody hears us there but our own people. They pay 75 cents for a beer, $1 for a beer, and we sing, and the people go out and say, man, did you hear Gladys McKnight or Gladys Knight and the Pips? They are something. And after 20 years on what they call the chitlin circuit, some white person comes in and says, wow. And just like they discovered America with a whole country full of Indians, just like they discovered Australia with the Aborigines there, they discovered Gladys Knight. They discovered Stevie Wonder. They discovered, and then when they discover us, that's when we're known. You see? Farrakhan has been speaking to black people for 36 going on 37 years. Now, I didn't get discovered. Until the great discoverer, the Christopher Columbus of black leadership, discovered me. I happened to be walking behind the Reverend Jackson, who had just a few years ago been discovered. The very word discovery and the way you use it is a racist kind of term. You're not interested in black people, but when we can make $1 for you, you become interested. When we can move you along, further your aims, your ambitions, your goals, you become interested in black people. But until then, you have no interest in us whatsoever. How dare you say that I'm bad for black-Jewish relations? What black people do you relate to? You don't relate to the black people on 43rd Street in Chicago, 63rd Street on the west side. We don't see a Jew. We don't know what you look like. So what kind of relationship am I messing up for you? You hypocrites. if you set up a black organization, somebody white knocking at the door, let me in. And if you don't let me in, you know, that's a racist group you're in. How many of you belong to Hillel? Ain't no black people belong to that, do you? Why not? Why not? You're not interested in that. You mean to tell me black people cannot have a black organization that speaks to black concerns without white folk in it? That's racism? Please. Yes, you're all practicing reverse racism. No, the problem is you are so frightened to see black people get together. You think we're always conspiring against you. So when we get together, you got to come and try to join us. That's not my subject. I didn't come here to say that. But I just wanted to ventilate some of these things that are on my heart for these hypocrites that write in the newspaper about Farrakhan. You don't know me. You don't know me well enough. Some of you have never heard me, never had a chance to question me. But I'm here tonight, thanks to these students. So I'm going to hurry through our subject matter. But if you will listen to me, and this is not an anti-white tirade or somebody that's against white people or against Jewish people or against Arabs or Chinese or blacks. That's not the purpose at all. The purpose for truth is not to condemn color, but to condemn wrong. When wrong is condemned by the presence of truth, the wrongdoer in the light of truth has his or her actions or thoughts illuminated for them by the presence of truth. This is mercy from God because it allows us to correct our actions. If our actions go uncorrected, they bring in their wake consequences that may not be good for the actor. Great nations like this one have gone to ruin because people were hateful of truth. They despised that which corrected them. What makes one despise correction? It is arrogance. Arrogance is a state of mind that blinds us to truth. For we begin to feel that we are better than, bigger than, above criticism. How dare you tell me that I'm wrong? Do you know who I am? Truth, frankly, doesn't give a damn. Truth doesn't care who you are. Truth doesn't care what your position is. President is not above truth. Pope is not above truth. Prophet is not above truth. King is not above truth. Truth is the root of the universe. The universe may pass away, but the truth shall remain. So truth is what our lives are given to serve. It is truth that evolves us. It is truth that nurtures us. It is truth that makes us come into the path of God and makes us reflect the Creator. Truth. Falsehood created nothing. Falsehood can never be sustained. So you are at this university paying tens of thousands of dollars. Your parents are for you young students, white and black and Jew and Gentile, to get the truth that you may make a better life for yourself and a better world in which you and we can live. The problem is arrogance blinds us to truth. Look, there is no discipline that you are studying where the person who wrote the book has a knowledge of that discipline that is absolute. God didn't write the textbook. So if Freud wrote it, it has a lot to be desired. Socrates was brilliant, but he wasn't God. So if you read Socrates, if you read Plato, if you read Tillich, whoever you read, if you read Dewey, if you read Machiavelli, whoever you read, not God. So what you are reading is a person who has studied what the Creator created and drew from the creation his perception of the truth and wrote it down in a book and made a dissertation or wrote a thesis, and that became your book. So you're studying from a student who has not yet perfected the discipline. So if you are not trained to stand on the shoulders of the great thinkers, to look beyond them, then you become enslaved to that which is imperfect, and you become non-functional in a world that needs your mind. Listen, students. Listen. You are born for this day, for this time. Your minds are equipped to go beyond a man that wrote 100 years ago, 25 years ago, even 10 years ago. You must never be enslaved to your teachers. You must honor and respect them, but stand on their shoulders and move more toward the absolute. Knowledge is not a stagnant thing. Knowledge is an ever-evolving thing as we move toward perfection. But once you stop the evolutionary process saying, I got it, that's when you lost it. Because what we know, you could put on the head of a common pin and it would have much room left on that pin in comparison to what is in the universe for us yet to learn. The fact that we have a problem with garbage, just think about that. Big problem. What are you going to do with your garbage? Oh, now, does that sound like trivia? Here's a barge going up and down the Atlantic Ocean filled with garbage, trying to find some place to dump it. Now, for 20 years, it's Earth Day. Isn't that wonderful? At last, after you all been in power all these years, you've learned now, oh my God, we better do something to protect the earth. The Native American could have told you that the day you met them. The Native Americans are the number one protectors of the environment. All their writings, all their speeches, all their old prophecies deal with environment. Why didn't we learn from them? Well, after all, I mean, they're nothing but savages, heathens. We are the great Christians who came to civilize these savages and teach them about the Lord Jesus Christ. You mean the Lord Jesus Christ didn't hip you all to environment? You mean one who came to lead and guide us into all truth didn't tell you to protect the earth? But greed, you see, arrogance, cause you to pollute the earth, pollute the air, pollute the water. Now you have a problem with garbage. But of course, you are studying economics. Isn't that interesting? And the Creator has no problem with anything. He recycles everything. What a masterful economist. But of course, God, let's leave him out of this, because what does God know? You put your little cheap knowledge above the knowledge of the Creator. And that's why you're in the condition that you're in.
You know, one thing that I like about Minister Louis Farrakhan is that he's a person, even though I know not everyone agrees with him in everything that he says, but he is that one person that calls it for what it is. Understand that he's been calling out the United States to deal with its racism, because this has been a problem for a long time, and this is something that has been happening for a long time now. And you know, as time goes by, people come to learn that America cannot be saved from its own decision that it makes. Well, some people say that we are doing America first. I don't think people are doing America first, because the system itself has its own agendas, and has its own agendas to some things that it want to push to, and something that it doesn't want to push to. I mean, it's upon you to see upon it, decide on what you want to do. But at the end of the day, all I like to say is that Minister Louis Farrakhan was right in everything that he says and in everything that he said. Because the person that the United States chose, that's Mr. Donald Trump, is already making majority of American citizens regret choosing him, regret having him. I know, as a matter of fact, and I'll say again, not everyone usually agrees with Minister Louis Farrakhan. I know there are some stories that has ever happened about him, and so people find it really difficult to deal with all these things that are happening right now and all these things that we are seeing right now. But you understand that Mr. Louis Farrakhan has been a truth teller. He's been saying the truth for the longest time. And that's just the truth that America needs to know, because it's as much as important as what we are seeing happening right now. First of all, that Mr. Louis Farrakhan calls out is racism. And racism has been the biggest expense that the United States is spending on right now. Because even when we see the United States spend its money a lot in military, it's as a result of racism. It's because of racism. Because if all these folks decided not to put Trump into the office, all of that money couldn't have been spent on military. Because you understand that you're dealing with a person who is a lunatic, a person that doesn't give a damn about human life, a person that has never valued anything to do with human life. So I hope you know, and I hope you understand the group of people that we are dealing with. And it is so much important, even at this point, to just look at everything that's happening around you. There's so much craziness. There's so much madness that is going on. Look at what Trump did to Venezuela. Look at what he's right now doing in Cuba. Look at what he has been doing to Iran. Look at whole history. Doesn't it repeat itself? Yes, it's repeating itself because majority of people keep on repeating the same mistake. And the same mistake that people are repeating is putting the wrong person into the office over and over and over again. Because all these folks don't learn. And they don't learn from their mistakes because you see, once beaten, twice shy. But for some folks, they want to be beaten like so many times for them to understand that it's time that they should just make the right decision. One message that stands out that Minister Louis Farrakhan shares, he tries to warn black people. He tries to warn black people, do not give their kids, do not give their families, do not agree to their family members to sign contracts that will make them go into wars that doesn't even benefit Americans. I really don't know how this works, but we all need to understand that the fight that the fight that Trump wants Americans to fight, it's a Trump that is not even worth Americans themselves. And of course, the fight will keep on going on. But it is upon Americans themselves to make the right decision. It is upon Americans themselves to see to it that they need to build systems. They need to be sane and say that this time round we're not putting a lunatic on the office. This time round we are making the right decision. Somebody said that just because Farrakhan says this or that doesn't mean that he is right. I'm still trying to figure out how he will support a government or any kind that would murder tens of thousands of its own people for free speech and assembly. Meanwhile, he has free speech in the U.S. to say what he wants to say. If the United States is the enemy, why do you live here? One more point. What if we didn't have a military? You will be open to invasion by other superpowers. Oh, I forgot. We already have been invaded. I don't think this person is right for some point. But everyone is allowed to say whatever he wants to say because I see Louis Farrakhan as a visionary, a person who was a visionary, and I've recognized the fact that, not everyone agrees with what Minister Louis Farrakhan says, or not everyone agrees with what he subscribes to, but at least let's give him these flowers while he's still alive, because majority of these things that he tries to warn Black Americans, I've always tried to talk to the people from the Black community to be wary of these things. And right now we are seeing them happening. So brothers and sisters, I really don't know what to think and feel about this, but please let me know in the comment section what you think and feel about this. And as you know, I'm your host and presenter Ejidok Stories. And let me see you on my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.